Well, what did you expect to happen? When things get left alone for a while, and this is kind of like the case with any sort of collectible, is that they begin to dry up. And what happens when things dry up? Well, the market responds by the price going up. Now, I had alluded to this a number of times over the summer last year, especially when we were in the heat of the moment of the 2020 West Point Privy Mark quarters. Okay, you guys remember that? The program that is no longer a thing in 2021. Now all of a sudden there is renewed interest in not only the 2020 West Point quarters that everybody's been fighting over and stalking their local branch manager at the bank to obtain, but how about them 2019s? The first year of inception of the Business Strike West Point quarters. Right? I talked about it. I'm like, man, these things, they were a song and a dance. You pick these up for between $6 and $8 last summer. The 2019 West Points, that is. And I talked about it. I'm like, guys, you just don't realize that this is a huge screaming opportunity for some lucky someone to go out and recognize the overall the beneficial investment opportunity that these things draw. Now, maybe you guys might remember this video. Yeah, you see the sleepy-faced fellow right here? All right, but you do remember this title, the top 5 U.S. coins of 2020 buy, sell, hold. That was the most recent video and probably the last one before I'm talking to you today about how I discussed how you should be picking up both 2019 West Points and 2020 West Point quarters now, ASAP. This was the video right here. It's a top 5. So there needed to be a number 1 coin. Guess what it was? It was the West Point quarters, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. This is all automatic. I saw this coming long before the market began to move. And then here we are. We're here again, another video in April 2021. Like, that's only 3 months ago, where I talked about this. So, how much did the market move in just the 90 days since I had talked about this subject? Quite a bit, actually. There are some 2019 West Point quarters that are selling from this video for between 3 and 4x. Now, if a few of you had taken my advice and picked up these quarters, and I recommended in quantity because, you get bulk discounts if you bought, like, say, a full roll, than buying them, piece by piece, singular coin after singular coins. And let's say you had spent $250 on a roll of 40, which at the time, you just have to look at the video, watch the video, and you guys will see that there have been a few listings that have sold in that 240 to 250 range. And then now they're selling for 3 to 4 times X. Now, obviously, they're not all like that. What are the kind of like insinuating circumstances to the market drive? Well, obviously, the coins that are selling and, for the expected amount of money that I'm talking to you about are going to be those mid-state examples, right? The first run is what I call it, the first initial release. Because after a while, like I had mentioned, these coins circulate quite a bit. It doesn't take no more than about 6 months to a year before a lot of your mint-state 64s, 65s, and 66s at release now turn all of a sudden into AU58s, mid-state 61s, and 62s. All right, and then those coins aren't worth nearly as much. But at the time, whether it's last summer, okay, these things were available. People had forgotten the 2019 West Points because, you know, hey, the 2020s has something a little extra, if you know what I mean, you know? It's got a privy mark, it's all fancified, it's, you know, people like the designs better on the 2020s, so on and so forth. So, yeah, the 2019 West Points became an absolute foregone conclusion that they will be forgotten after a few months, since the newest and hottest thing is out in the marketplace. But like I had said and stated before, we are in 2021. Well, guess what? We're a third of the way through the new year already. And what hasn't happened? There's no West Point quarter for 2021. Huh. Interesting. You know, I had alluded to that too. Like, these things are bound to end. The long sweet ride is about to end, and that's it. Like they always do, right? Nothing is infinite. Okay, every program, every little thing is finite. So when things have a conclusion, people tend to go back and they, I'm not going to say like relive like the glory days, because, you know, when people were making 20, 30 bucks a coin at release, I mean, do you guys remember the Lowell National Park, you know, where some of those coins at release were selling for like $100 to $200 at release, and people were making just tens of thousands of dollars, and got friggin' lucky. Let's just put it there like that. People got lucky that they were to obtain the amount of quarters that they did when the Lowell National Park in 2019, you guys know who you are. You know, there's a few of you out there that took advantage, okay, after much publicity, not only by myself, but a lot of my counterparts on YouTube who also do the coin news. And, man, it was the hottest thing, but, you know, it started out way up here and it comes crashing down like a roller coaster, like they all do. They have their ups and downs and dives and, you know, capitulations and all that stuff. And then here we are. It's like we had come fully at the bottom for the 2019 West Points, and then now all of a sudden we are seeing this upward trajectory, which is, oh, God, you know what? Good old savant Sean Blue Ridge kind of pegged it this time around for once. And here we are. eBay completed sales. 2019 West Point, and the one West Point coin that I would say has been making the biggest movements, the biggest strides in the marketplace is the American Memorial. But we're going to look at all five, ladies and gentlemen. All right, have no fear. I even got my phone, my device here handy, so that way we can take a look at each one of the five coins. So just to recap, the Lowell National Park was the first release. American Memorial was the second. Okay, that's the one that we have on screen on eBay. War in the Pacific. The Frank Church River of No Return. And then finally, well, let's see, War in the Pacific. San Antonio Missions was the third one. Sorry about that. All right, but the one coin that has shown some significant growth in just 90 days is the American Memorial Park. This is a coin that I had flashed on that top 5 video, where these coins were selling for like 8 to 10 bucks. And I had said, I'm like, you guys better jump on this opportunity while there's still supply and they're still cheap. Guess what? It's not cheap anymore. The supply is dwindling. All right, but take a look at this. Let me hit you up with a little bit of concrete evidence that things are going the way of, you know, Profit Town here. There's only one route, by the way. All right, and the first one here, 2x2. I mean, it's just one coin sold for $40. That was a buy it now listing. It's like it's the second coming of like the last, like the PS5, right? It's like there's no more left. Let's just continue to, you know, pay up for all the coins. I mean, these things will dry up, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another one. A best offer was accepted. That, you know, that could be interpreted. This one here is a little bit circulated, so it's sold south of $35. An offer was accepted. Here's a nice mint state example, sold for $38.99. And then we just go on down the line. And there is also ones like these. You're going to have kind of like your outliers. Like this one guy here posted it way too cheap. But at the same time, you don't know if these coins are like of mint state 65 quality as you would expect, you know. So $12.50 as a buy it now listing. I also wanted to add that in there. This is not like a coin that was bid up to this amount. Someone inadvertently put the wrong dollar value, because look at all the other ones. $40. Here's another one with the best offer, probably $35, $40. 35, 36. Look at this one. This is a regular auction, ladies and gentlemen. $36. Bid up, 10 bids, right there. Clear as day. Yeah. If you guys are thinking like this guy's a douche and he's, you know, pumping himself up to make himself look good, I'm like, yeah, you got that right. Because, you know, I talk about things that are beneficial for everyone. Okay, for you, for me, for the next guy that watches the video, because opportunity was there, right? Every single coin that I've pitched and speculated on this channel has done what? It's done this, right? It keeps going up because I've recognized the trends on these coins for the last 15, 20 years. And you see enough of these new mint products or these new mint offerings, all right? They come out, they go up here, they plummet, and then they start to go back up. You know, I even noticed it with the 95W Silver Eagle. That was a huge one. But take a look at this. You know, even graded coins where these things were selling for like 40, 50 bucks. Look at this, Mint State 64, one of the most common grades in an American Memorial Park, sold for $100, ladies and gentlemen. This coin was like $30, $40 back 90 days ago. But you could do all the research you want to. This one here, this is a circulated example, ladies and gentlemen, that sold for a combined amount of money with shipping for $30. But as you can see, this is not a secret anymore. People are privy, no pun intended, to the scarcity of these coins. So to kind of recap, the U.S. Mint, Mr. David Ryder, God bless his heart, he's already, you know, done a lot in the 2+ years that he's been at the Mint's helm, decide, you know what? The circulation coinage needs a little bit of old pump, a little injection of flavor, and boy, did he deliver. Started out with the West Point series of quarters, and PCGS followed along in his footsteps and threw out that really crazy bounty. You guys remember that from the Lowell National Park release. And had announced that the mintages would only be 2 million pieces per design type. So for 2019, there was 5 releases, a total of 10 million coins. It seems like a lot, but it's really not. A lot of the coins were never discovered. 2019 was the first year, and it was the hottest year because it was something new and extraordinary at the time. So let's assume 50% of the entire run was actually pulled out of change. All right, which it's not all of it. So there's going to be a pretty vast amount of coins still left in circulation that are going to continuously get used and abused and things like that. And then the coins won't look that great. Therefore, making the mint state examples continuing to go up. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, I missed the boat. It's too late to get into this. Well, this is the American Memorial Park. This is the first initial design out of the 5 for 2019 to rocket straight up into the stratosphere. All right? But have no fear. I think we have a few alternatives for you. All right, let's start out with the first initial release, which I firmly believe out of the 10 releases from between 2019 and 2020, this is the one coin. Probably most of these have been pulled out of circulation. I would venture to guess probably between like 60 to 75% of this particular coin was pulled out of circulation because it was like, it was the news story at the moment, and everybody wanted in. Now, as the program got older, after every release, there were less people that wanted to get into it. Either they were burnt out, they just had they can't find these. It's really hard to say, but there is some sort of attrition. As the program gets older, less people are interested in doing these. But as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, here is your cash cow right here. Lowell National Park quarters that can be had for $7 to $10. I guess you guys know what I'm going to say next. It's not going to last long. People are going to find out that they can't buy the American Memorial Park. They can't buy the Frank Church River of No Return anymore. So they're going to continuously go to the next one as long as it's still inexpensive. Now keep in mind, this is the oldest out of the five for 2019. So there are going to be a tremendous more amount of examples that are going to be circulated. Like this one here, it sold for whatever amount of money it sold for. This one was circulated. But take a look at the prospect of owning a PCGS graded example. Yeah, the pops are really big on these PCGS and NGC coins, but look how cheap they are. A whole lot cheaper than the American Memorial Park. And since he's already graded, this is a feeding frenzy for any would-be speculator because it's already graded. The $20 grading submission fee has already been absorbed, and that's part of the depreciation of grading a coin and then therefore selling it. Because as you can see, the total cost of this coin is $21. So this is a screaming bargain. But how long will it last? I don't know. Wait and see. Okay, come and find me in about... I might do another review video at the end of the year, like in December, on this subject. Okay, so come find me in like 8 months, and we'll have another discussion about the Lowell National Park quarter. Here's a lot of 7. If you guys can get these in quantity, in like 5, 10, 15, a full roll, graded slabs, whatever floats your boat, God bless you. That is the way to go. Mint State 66, 7 of them, for about $36 a piece. Are you kidding me? All right, so this is like, look at this, $4 plucked from a roll, and it looks BU too. All right, so that's the Lowell National Park. Obviously, it's very, very affordable, but for how long, right? Because things are starting to come to a head. Let's go ahead and type in San Antonio missions. I figure why not? We'll go through all 5 of the coins, but as you can see here, still affordable. I mean, there are some pretty beat up ones out here that's going to be around. But keep in mind, this is also another coin. I think that the design on the San Antonio missions wasn't as well received compared to the previous 2. And there is something about American Memorial Park that I think is more endearing to the public. And that's why that is the first coin to jump up in price. Here's a lot of 4 damaged, problem, cleaned, circulated examples that sold for a collective of $20. But if we could find a nice BU example, here's a couple right here, $7.50 and $10. So it's selling pretty similarly to the Lowell National Park. All right, so that is that one. And by the way, this is all ended recently. This is within the last few days. San Antonio, War in the Pacific. And right here, we have a relatively close sales price on a lot of these. I don't know what the deal is with the. Oh, I see. This is a real killer right here. $12 shipping. So the coins sold for about $13 a piece. Usually, you sell these. You charge very little or no money for shipping. But yeah, this coin has crept up a little bit too. This used to be a $6 to $8 coin. Now it's up to like 10, 12 bucks. So this is another one that I think, because of the war theme in here for World War II, this is a very popular choice because it's Guam also. The American Memorial Park is Northern Mariana Islands. So we're talking about like two territories that are a little bit unique, and that's why there is a little bit extra kind of attention on these particular coins. But here's another one that's still relatively affordable. There you go. 10 to 13 bucks it looks like. And the final one is the River of No Return, or Frank Church. There you go. 10 bucks. Here's a lot of two, but it looks like it's a War in the Pacific and a River of No Return for $22. So again, we're looking at 10 to 12 bucks. You know, here's one right here. It sold for 33. That's pretty nutty. Here's 15 bucks. So this one is a little bit more on the higher side. The River of No Return quarter, from what I can remember, was a coin that wasn't, because it's strange. At the time of release of this coin, the U.S. Mint had announced that they were going to continue on the West Point circulation rarity quarters for 2020, in addition to telling everybody that they're doing a V75 privy mark. This coin right here, not only was it not as searched for, but it wasn't as well received. A lot of these were not plucked out of circulation in the highest possible grades. As a matter of fact, I would say this one right here, maybe an estimate 20-30% of the entire 2 million piece run was actually pulled out of circulation. So in a way, as far as circulation rarity goes, I think this one right here is the winner for 2019. And it's reflected in the prices. We've seen prices, you know, I mean, here's a $10 one, but aside from that, they're all like 15 to 25, 30 bucks. This one right here is a great spec coin if you could find them. And if you could find like groups or lots of these and pay like 10 bucks a coin, that would be just brilliant, a brilliant financial move right there. Now you guys are probably saying to yourself, man, you know what? I haven't really thought about it, but it's probably not a bad idea to consider buying these. If you guys are looking for a great spec type of coin that's going to produce some pretty good returns in the future, these are them. Now, you guys will probably ask, should I buy some of the American Memorial Park? I feel like that these will eventually climb up a lot higher as a series. The American Memorial Park, I could see one day, it might be 5-10 years down the road, it's going to be a while, I could see those eclipsing the $100 mark. No joke. Only because it's a circulation West Point quarter, and it's just desirable. It's American, right? So this is a very, very interesting U.S. Mint release that I'm going to keep a close eye on for the foreseeable future. I mean, I will come back to this topic in December after we've gone through the entire summer. More circulation happens. People begin to go out in public and spend coins, and they feel comfortable spending money again. It's going to be very interesting where these coins are going to be going here real soon. My advice to you is don't wait any longer. If you have a few $100s and you want to invest into something, this is going to be the way to go. You know, if you can find a full roll, that's going to be your best bet. But these are not going to stay cheap for too long. Once every single release for 2019, and we can also possibly say 2020 V75 privies. Once these things begin to, you know, go beyond $15, $20 a coin, that's where things begin to get kind of very difficult to find in quantity. there's going to be a lot of singular sales of these. But right now, you could probably still find some of these in lots, in bulk. You know, you can find lots of 5 or 10. You know, don't be afraid to pull a trigger. If you got a little bit of money that you want to put somewhere for a little while, and, you know, you don't have like a 401k or you don't have a crypto wallet or anything like that, you know, this is another great way of doing it. And I'm glad to see, and I had predicted just 3 short months ago that these coins, you know, in like 5 years would hit like 30, 40 bucks a piece. And then now here we are in April, 3 months later from that video, that top 5 video. The American Memorial Park is already there. It's already at $30, $40 for crying out loud. And I don't see a ceiling with these coins. They're going to be holed up in collections. The highest graded examples, if they still exist out there in the secondary market, will get scooped up. They are relatively affordable right now, but they won't be for long. Because this is truly an oddity. A modern day oddity. And with some of them having like various weird errors, mint errors, that just makes it a much more special coin. But keep in mind, 2021, there's no West Point circulation rarity. And I think that program is long dead and gone. And all we have is the things that we used to remember from 2019 and 2020. So why not? Let's go ahead and relive the glory days and pick up some of these coins before they get out of reach price-wise. Bam, like that. So that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to touch on, you know, the 2019 West Point quarter situation. And, you know, let's see what happens from here on out. I mean, I can only see the prices of these going up and up and up and up. And supply dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. But keep this in mind. The trend is your friend till the end. So if you think about that, then, you know, you should be in good shape. Coinaholics, that's going to do it. I'm your host, Sean. You guys take care. And I guess I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.